Welcome into the Ringerverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran. You've got questions, he's got answers. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinker of things. We are Old Man Van, he of the receding, resurgent hairline. We are Coke, Baby Chop, the 24-karat closer, a.k.a. the brunch hottie. Joining us today, the Midnight Collective, okay? Aleya, no nickname, Zenieris, Arjuna, the Watcher, Ramgopal, and the Choco Taco.
Yo, shout out Cory. Cory's filling in for Aleya today.
Oh, Cory's in for Aleya?
Mm-hmm.
Cory, come over here to where I can see you in front of the thing. Cory, come over here.
We're going to know. We're going to know on that.
Cory said, nah, he's good. Doesn't need the screen time.
All right. Well, I got to give him a nickname.
All right.
Cory, the music man.
Cory, the music.
That's insane. Cory, fight back, please.
We are known as the Midnight Boys. All right, follow us on socials. Instagram, Twitter. Jomi, Facebook, Save Jomi Shop. Jomi, anything interesting happened on
So there's been an update.
I mean, where do we start? Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to 30K on Instagram.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we did it. So, Steve, man, what does that mean for you in your career, essentially?
I think that means that this is going to be my last episode of the podcast.
Going out with the bang?
It's grand opening, grand closing.
We gotta find Steve a red hoodie and some jeans.
Oh,
if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it the right way, right? The whole way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
that's Steve, are you feeling the pressure, Steve? Are you feeling, because you gotta do it?
I feel like in some ways I've been training my whole life for this, but I'm not quite sure.
Training your whole life for what part of this bet? To say what word? Just inform the audience. What word are you supposed to be saying?
Yeah, that's more of a cross that bridge when we come to it type of situation.
Of course.
To freedom. It's the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
Right.
You have been preparing for it, yeah. It's crazy. All right, guys, we are now on YouTube. You can watch every Midnight Boys House of R and Talk to Thrones episodes on youtube.com/@Ringerverse. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, the Ringerverse will be live at the El Rey Theater this summer in LA. We'll be there on July 17th. You guys come out, check it out. Ringer.com/events for more info. Every Tuesday and Thursday, House of R will deep dive into the House of the Dragon and the Acolyte. Every Monday, the Midnight Boys will be giving you our reactions to Hot D. Yes, this Tuesday we'll be live at 7 p.m. on YouTube reacting to the finale of the Acolyte. And Thursday, we'll be back for The Boys Season 4 finale. Got a lot of work to do in that finale as far as most fans of The Boys are considered. Okay, got a lot of work to do. We're going to see how they end up this season. I think right now that if The Boys is able to make us care about the next season, maybe this season is something more than a 7.5, 8 out of 10, but got a lot of work to do with The Boys in their finale.
I mean, also,
every Sunday.
Really quick, do you think that they're going to release the finale of The Boys after what happened this weekend?
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
I was wondering.
Every Sunday, Talk to Thrones.
Thank you.
We'll be right up after the latest episode of Hot D ends. I tell you guys right now, if we start talking about it, it's going to be a whole theme. So it's a good question, though. Charles, I'll be honest with you.
Emergency reshoots.
I'm just asking. I was wondering. I was like, is Amazon going to be like, hey, let's wait 2 weeks?
It'd be so funny. You just go there and the Amazon just pretends like the Boys finale wasn't supposed to happen. They just move on. You know, it's nuts. It's a nuts world. Some more stuff happened this morning.
Oh, boy.
All right, anyway. Look, you guys, spoiler warning for House of the Dragon. No book spoilers. But if book spoilers come out, I don't know, guys. Just deal with it. Run a spoiler warning, Steve.
All right.
We're getting ready to talk about
House of the Dragon.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming.
All right, we got to put you in the know about this episode. Only way to do that is the Midnight Manifest. Only person who can do that is Chuck Wack. Chuck, take it away.
All right, this is your Midnight Manifest for House of the Dragon, Regent, directed by Claire Kilner, written by Ty McKell. Kristen and Aemond return to King's Landing, where they parade a dragon's head through the streets, while Claim and Aegon had a victorious battle. But the small folk don't give a shit, and in fact, want to get out. Aegon is burnt to a crisp and hanging on for life, which is when Aemond swoops in during the council meeting to take his place and become Prince Regent. Jace flies to the Freys, and in a bit of white boy diplomacy, gets their support in turn for his mother gifting the Freys Harrenhal at the end of the war. Daemon is still off that juice at Harrenhal, and the Riverfolk begin protesting his barbaric war crimes against the Brackens, and Jace and Rhaenyra cook up a scheme to get bastard children and forgotten Targaryen descendants to become their new dragon riders. And that's been your Midnight Manifest for this episode of House of the Dragon.
All right, let's get into it. Fellers, the guys, House of the Dragon is on a hot streak. Did this episode keep that hot streak going? Take it away, fellas.
I mean, I'm not saying it's better, but I enjoyed this episode more than I enjoyed the last. This is the type of episode that I think I come to the show for, where I think they did a lot of good work, really showcasing in this episode how not only are all these characters fighting over nothing, but now you start seeing all the characters realizing that what they're fighting for is almost not going to be worth the price. And I think one of my favorite scenes in the entire episode was when Alicent is in the small council meeting and she just loses the spot to Aemond, and you just realize she's like, oh, I just built my cage again. And it's dawning on her. It's dawning on Kristen Cole what it means to have a war with these dragons. It's dawning on Rhaenyra how stuck she is in this castle, and how, honestly, no one in her council really thinks that she should even be in charge. Like, yes, they are behind her, but only because her father was like, oh, I guess this is the person who should be my heir. So I thought this episode did a really, really good job of just situating where the conflict is, how dumb it is. And then, honestly, I kept laughing at all the small folk being like, I thought they were gods. And the other guy was like,
I thought they was gods. It was gods, wasn't they?
Y'all think dragon meat tastes good? That was crazy.
I was actually, would you guys eat a little bit of the dragon? Like, would
for
you
sure.
carve off a little bit?
Dude.
I bet it's very gamey.
It's gotta be, right? I mean, throw it on the grill.
I mean, if you ain't got no food, dragon on the menu, baby.
Yeah.
They did, this whole episode was about people trying to get that meat. We all know
absolutely.
you want that meat.
You
When there's not enough meat, you're gonna run to the other place. When the meat, this is the thing. When the meat is too small, you're gonna try to leave the castle. That was the whole lesson.
Also,
of this episode.
The meat won't save you. Alicent is looking at Sir Kristen Cole like, I thought the meat would save me, and he's like, there's dragons now.
Stop.
The meat,
the game's changed.
The meat didn't save him. And then, if the meat is not satisfying you, you see a dragon, you might try some strange meat. The whole thing is the meat. It's a fight
over
over
the meat. If you're off the drink, you also might offer the meat up to your mom.
Alicent and Rhaenyra are now realizing that what don't they have that they need to be taken seriously by the rest of these guys in their small councils. What don't they have, Charles?
Stop.
They don't have the meat.
Jomi,
in all seriousness, though.
This is a new section. Jomi, all right. We'll clear out, Jomi. We'll clear out. Go.
It's not about being woke. It's about I saw what there was
going. Yeah. You saw the trajectory.
I saw the trajectory. I couldn't believe he was going to take it there.
Y'all not
That's
real
crazy.
There's literally.
I guess you could say that we're not.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
There's a scene in this episode where the dude is actually saying, it's funny as hell, we want meat. We want meat.
That is true. He did say that we want meat.
But to be fair,
and then the guard's like, pause.
They were like ladling out the rest of the food, and they were picking the oranges. That
looked nasty.
And it was like moldy and shit. And I'm like, dog, I'd be the one cheering like, we want meat,
bro. It's down bad in King's
Can I
Landing
say
right
something
now.
about that scene? Can I say something about that scene? And I want to hear what the men boys have to say. That's a brilliant little scene.
Mm-hmm.
And for any of the any writers out there, young writers, I'm giving fucking advice to young writers. Like I have 6 Academy Awards.
You have one.
You have one.
That scene was brilliant visual storytelling.
Yes.
We go from watching people at the top of the social class in Westeros eat, fuck, argue. That's what the show is about. That's what the show is about, right? Every time they have a meal, I mean, the meals don't look good because they ain't got no stoves, but or air fryers or nothing. The meat always look, the food look raw, whatever. But they all eat well, and you see the ramifications of their petty squabbling in the fact that this woman is picking through oranges, and she has to pick the least moldy orange.
Yeah.
And you see how this is actually affecting people's lives. All of this this conflict and divisiveness at the top.
Yeah.
It kind of, if you think about it, makes a lot of sense in the world. You know what I mean? It's like a great scene. You didn't have to talk about it. You could just see it. 2 quick shots, and you see how the people are living. It was fantastic. Mid boys, what did you guys think about the episode?
I thought it was a great episode of TV. Game of Thrones does this thing usually where the big battle episode is like the penultimate or something. So it's never the last thing you see is like a big battle. And so the episode following it usually like has some emotional and story beats that we really need to see. And I thought this episode did a really good job of letting all the stuff play out between Corlys, between Alicent, Aemond, everybody who was affected by that battle had to reckon with something this week. And I thought it did a really good job of letting us know, like, kind of not like super reset, but like layering rebuttal, this is different. There are dragons involved now. It's real.
Because it's very easy to have an episode like the prior one, big dragon battle, massive siege, the war's kicked off. Okay, now we're off to the races. But instead, this is a bit more of a like, okay, we hit you with something big and then we dial it back to see just what the world thinks about something as big as, hey, dragons can be killed. King's Landing is in shambles right now because of this blockade. Everybody is in like is destitute. Mm. And now we've got to like kind of like start to realign ourselves on the board for the High Towers to make sure that they have like the best sort of like position in their High Council. Alicent's in absolute shambles with trying to reassign both Aegon Aemond, excuse me, and have to deal with like the actual like repercussions of what she's done and all of this mistake that she's made. And I think that scene in the small council room is probably the highlight scene of this episode, because again, like you say, that she reassembles her cage once again, because the theme of like sexism and misogyny in Westeros is like very apparent here. And I would say that that's kind of like the reassembling of like, okay, now once war happens, this is where men and the people that like adhere to what they do really start to suffer. And we see that on screen the entire episode. I think it's great.
It's very funny. The various characters, it starts dawning on them. They're like, dog, what am I going to say to the motherfucker with the biggest dragon in the room? It's like, Alicent is like, well, I was Queen Regent and I was da-da-da-da. And like, so Kristen Cole is like, bro, I saw that dragon in action, bro. It's whatever Daemon says. And it's similar with the Blacks, where it's like, it dawns on them. They're like, how are we going to defeat this big ass dragon? They're like, what if we just had more dragons? And I was just like, oh, it was interesting in this episode where this episode keeps returning back to the fact that all of these people have been living in peacetime. So now they're just getting to the point where they're just like, well, if we want to win this war, either we have to have the biggest nuke or we have to have the most nukes. And I thought it did a very, very good job of like, the people in power are going to be the ones who have the dragons. And unfortunately, pretty much everybody but Aemond does not realize what that's going to entail for the small folk.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there were 2 super interesting things that happened in the episode. That's very well said by all of you guys. I think there are two super interesting things that happened in the episode that like changed the show or changed the future of Westeros. So one is from the real world, and then one is from other comic book lands. So, Superman lands on Earth, and he starts to save people. He's a hero, like Superman. You guys have heard of him before. Kal-El from the planet Krypton, son of Zor-El. Okay, so two things happen. One thing after the other. The first thing that happens is once Superman is saving the world, right, humans, they compete. They compete for the love and good graces of Superman. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Superman is an incredibly powerful being. They're going to look at him and they're going to go, the best place to be is closer to Superman, on the good side of Superman. Let's see how we can work with Superman. A lot of people are going to do that. Then kryptonite is invented, or it's found. You know that he has a weakness. Then what are the people going to do? At least some of them. They're now going to compete for the kryptonite. Like, at first, you're going to compete for the love and the warmth and the protection of the supreme being. But once you figure out that you can kill it, you are now going to compete to be the person who can do that. The moment they see the dragon being paraded through King's Landing, it fundamentally changes the psyche of the people. It is maybe, from what we've seen on screen, the biggest miscalculation by the Targaryen dynasty ever. It ended their perception as these ethereal, eternal, special, godlike beings who are right next to these creatures who maintain the order of all of Westeros. It just made them something else to kill. That is the beginning of the end of the Targaryen dynasty right there. When you take away what the people think it's supposed to be. We see that all the time. Like Nixon lies and people go, wait a minute, the president, wait, what? Like the president is a criminal? I mean, we probably thought that they were doing some shady stuff, but the president is actually a criminal. He's not like the greatest and best of amongst us. And then that changes the presidency. People go, oh my God, what the hell? Now these guys up there got lies, what's going on? And now, the fucking mustard's off the hot dog or whatever. But the second thing that happened is, I remember back in the real world when there was talk about women in combat. This is back in the day when there was talk about women in combat, whether or not women should be able to be in the military in combat situations, not in the military, but in combat situations. And it was all of these platitudes. We had all of these ladies that wanted to go out and fight for their country, but there are all these platitudes as to why they couldn't. There were these psychological platitudes that they would say, hey, we don't know how male soldiers are going to react to seeing women like blown apart or killed in action. We don't know how they're going to respond to that. They might look at it and think that it might remind them of their mothers or their sisters or their wives or whatever, right? Like, we don't know how they're going to respond to that. We also don't know how, if you put men and women out there in battle together in situations that are dire or whatever, if the women will be safe from the men. And the entire argument for a lot of women was organized around how men would react to women being in battle. That was the way that it was. It just couldn't be equal. It couldn't be equal if you looked at it that way. By the way, the women were saying, well, look, this hampers us, one of the arguments, this hampers us from rising up in the military because, hey, if we can't be a part of combat, then a lot of times that's when you get promoted because of what you've done in combat situations or your commander, things like that. Now, all of that's changed now. But I remember these arguments being had in real time when they were still like, I don't know anything about the military and the army or whatever, but I would assume that's changed. But all of these things were arguments that were being had then. And I watched these women say, both Alicent and Rhaenyra say, hey, look, if I nobody has any combat experience here. If I'm not allowed to show my combat experience, I'll never gain any combat experience. And the fact that there is something that I can't change is the fact that I'm a woman. You guys are using your maleness and weaponizing that against me. And the frustration that they both felt in this situation connected those two characters. And the show works best when those characters are thematic sisters, thematic twins on different sides of a dividing line. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I think this episode is so strong is because it's one of the strongest episodes that shows that these two women are essentially in the same position. They're surrounded by a bunch of subpar meat.
Very true.
Yeah, it's like they're two sides of the same coin, right? Where we have the what you're talking about, where both of them are like, the misogyny is rampant this week, right? Alicent is like, yo, I think I should be Queen Regent again. I have the experience. Or like, actually, dragons are involved. It's no place for a woman. Same thing for Rhaenyra, right? If somebody needs to go fight, I need to go fight. They're like, actually, sit down, pretty lady. Don't worry about it. Crazy, right? But then you see them with their kids, you know, and how different Alicent is from Rhaenyra, where Rhaenyra is like, you know, of course she wants to protect Jace. She wants Jace to, you know, she lost one of her sons. You know, she doesn't want Jace to suffer the same fate. But when Jace is like, yo, we got to do something, here's what I'm thinking. She's like, maybe this might be something we could do. Meanwhile, we saw last week when Aegon came to Alicent with a problem. She was like, actually, you're a loser. You've always been a loser. Don't do nothing. You suck. You know? And it's interesting to see how both of those people, they've lived similar lives. They have the same problems, but they deal with them different ways.
I mean, this episode was, I think, the first time where I actually like felt for Rhaenyra, and I liked her because her talk with Jace before they come up with the plan, she comes off as like such a petulant child almost, because Jace comes back with like, Mom, look what I did. Like I got us this big win. And you can see that she's jealous. And she's jealous because Jace is a teenager. He gets to run off and he gets to do the thing that she's wanted to do since she was a child.
Okay,
I can see it.
I didn't quite read that as jealousy. I think it seems as more as she's like, she's had a bad fucking day of a bunch of men undermining her at her own small council, and then she can't even get a hold on her son wanting to go off and do some things without her permission.
Yeah, but think about what her son gets.
I understand
glory, which she has not gotten. The thing I think that sucks for her is that like Rhaenyra has gotten almost everything she's wanted. Even if she's not on the Iron Throne, she has a council, people are listening to her, but because she's a woman, she can't do the thing that Jace can do, which is like, I'm not gonna listen to my mom, I'm gonna hop on my dragon. Basically, Jace is just kind of like, he kind of scares them into submission a little bit. Like there is a one point.
He's a little diplomatic about it.
You guys are worried about Vhagar with my dragon right there. Like, what
and I saw that moment where it's like, it's not.
She was cold to me.
Yeah, Jace was great.
Yeah. Like I came away with this episode being, and it's interesting, Charles. That's a very interesting. I didn't read it as jealousy, but now that you say that, I'm thinking maybe it was. I got a question for all of y'all. Does Jace need more minutes?
Yes.
This is why he doesn't need more minutes. Because the minute he got he was like, more wine, and you realize he's about to close the deal, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's getting got. Like, I was like, he's too good at his job. He's too effective. He was running circles. Because here's the thing, too. I was like, is Jace just a pretty boy, or does he got some thinking skills? And when he came up with the dragon plan, he's like, oh, we got a bunch of dragons. Why don't we just get some dragon riders? I'm like, damn, this boy too good at his job, man. We know this.
Not long for this world if you're good at your job.
Man. But no, I don't think she was jealous in terms of yo, fuck my son. I more so thought it was like, oh, Jace is coming to into his own as potentially a war hero. Mm-hmm. Someone who gets to fly off half-cocked, come back with this big win. And we haven't seen Rhaenyra win once, win this entire season.
Sure.
She's strapped.
Nah, Jace been locked in.
But do you think, in this situation, his wins are her wins? Yes. I guess there could have been a little jealousy. But
here's the thing. She doesn't get glory. I think she wants, in this episode, I might be reading wrong, I think she wants the glory of being able to fly off in combat like a Rhaenys, like these other people, and for the people to love her, to build up this legend, which is kind of the thing where I'm just like, that's the problem with Aemond. That's the problem with Aegon. That's the problem with a lot of these rulers, where I'm just like, do you want to be a ruler who's talking about taxes and how to feed the people? Or do you want to show that this is your divine right and you deserve to be this? Because it's like, the council to me is not wrong, if I'm going to be honest. Rhaenyra, Aegon, Aemond, what have any of these motherfuckers done to deserve leadership? They're not necessarily that good of leaders.
Well, now we're getting into the whole breakdown of like whether or not like this like bloodline thing is even worth the price of ruling, which is like that's the antithesis of the point for the show.
To what Van said earlier, there are two moments in this episode. This is why I liked it so much, where the Targaryens miscalculate, and you can tell. It's when they parade the dragon through the streets, and it's when Jace and Rhaenyra have the idea to basically go through the line to get more dragon riders. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, you guys, the only thing the Targaryens have is your silver hair and this belief that you are divine rulers and that dragons are gods. Now you've shown all the small folks that dragons aren't gods, they're just meat. And now you're saying, hey, you don't even have to have silver hair. You don't even have to be that close to the bloodline. You could be a bastard or anything and you can get on these dragons. And I'm like, oh, you got, like, this is how everything falls because you guys aren't even propping up your own myth
They
anymore.
diluted the product.
I said next week is going to be an episode of Finding Your Roots, and I think it's going to be really funny. Just be like, you are in fact 1/5 Targaryen.
I mean, also it's
this is my thing with the dragon riders. It depends on who they get to ride the dragons, right?
Okay.
So much in life depends on who you let ride.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to just let anybody ride.
You can't,
because that's how you end up. 18 years, you're in a bad situation, send the video type of situation. And so with you, it all depends. If they go get, they were talking about Tarleys and all of these other people. If you go get someone else from these great houses and you let them ride your dragon, get all on it, ride it from the back.
People are going to start asking questions. If you let them
ride your dragon, then what you're going to end up seeing is those houses weaponized. They got to get some bastards, man. They got to get some bastards. And I'll tell you why. If you get the bastards, if you go find the bastards, then you can bring the bastards into your house. Because that's what the bastards want. They want a name. They want a wing of Harrenhal. They want to be able to come to court. But see, if you go start spreading dragons around, can you imagine a fray with a dragon?
No.
Can you imagine?
I could never.
That's not what you want. You don't want
Jesus.
a fray with a dragon. You don't want what's the
brackets of the Blackwoods with dragons would be insane.
That's nuts.
You know what? You want to know what this reminds me of?
A Lannister with the dragon? You don't want these people with the dragons.
Geez.
Like, that's not what you want, man.
Is House Black? It reminded me of them, like, they're doing that thing where they're going to the hood and they're propping up their little army table and they're like, you get a Hellcat if you just come over to the Blacks. And I'm just like, you just don't want to give anyone a Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? I'm just wanting... Like, literally, they're going to the rest of the small boats.
They're incentivizing them.
They're like, yo, if you join our cause, we get you a little Camaro, we get you a nice thing, we'll put you through college.
It used to be a Camaro, man.
Wow.
Used to be a Camaro.
Now we gotta have we're selling for Hellcats.
The hood must have changed. So you guys got they spinning out there, they drilling for Hellcats out there now. Hey man, I got this Hellcat for you. I need you to go kill the ops. I guess maybe that makes sense. They kill for less. What am I talking about?
They kill for less.
What are you talking about? I don't want to get off. I don't want to leave the Jay situation real quick because I want to move on because this was his coming out party. This was his remember that game Austin Reeves went crazy. We were, oh my God, Austin Reeves can play. Like this was his game. So Charles, real quick, you feel like this makes him a target. Jomi, you feel like this means that there's going to be a little bit more for him. what's the future of this character? This seemed to be the episode where he became her most trusted advisor. She can't trust anybody else. Nobody else respects her. Nobody else is actually even willing to collaborate with her. Part of the reason why this happened is because he was actually willing to listen to her enough to agree to solve problems with her, which it doesn't seem like anybody else on her council was willing to do. So is this now the duo? Is this the pick and roll duo of the Blacks right here, Jace and Rhaenyra now?
I hope so.
I mean, the thing that does scare me a little bit is like, I was like, is this really a total win for Jace? Because at one point, he's sitting there and they bring up Daemon and he starts talking big shit about Daemon. I'm like, Daemon's trying to become
Daemon's on his own retreat right now.
They don't know that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, they don't know that yet. So like, here's the thing. Jace, this was a coming out episode for him. He did an amazing job. White boy diplomacy, at least now, is working.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not working in our current reality. But I was like, is this going to bite him in the ass? Because they promising a lot of shit that they can't deliver.
Well, it's a harebrained scheme for sure.
I don't know. He was like, we want Harrenhal. And he was like, cool, bend the knee.
No, that was fine. I think as far as like finding the bastards of the illegitimate Targaryens, I'm like, this is a
also
half. You went from a full court to a half court shot.
He's promising Harrenhal all this shit. I'm like, the river folks,
they're not going to have that,
but the fucking capital.
But honestly though, it like a promise in a war that's probably going to be decimating a lot of people. Like, we'll reassess those promises after the fact.
Rhaenyra and Jace were laughing a little bit. I'm like, y'all evil, because they just like, this war might go on forever.
It's like, hey, this is fine, whatever. We'll see what comes out at the other side of this.
I do have to. I see where Charles is coming from in the sense of every time somebody does something good, every time we're like, man, we don't absolutely hate this character. They're gone.
Count your days.
And especially with Rhaenyra, because like that was Rhaenys for the first 4 episodes.
Oh yeah,
was somebody she believed in, somebody she was tight with, and she got. So now Jace fills that role. Oh man, it's not looking good for our guy. Let's be honest.
Wait, can I also?
Well, I will say this: we did meet the bastard character from the tavern earlier, which kind of put it on the blueprint that there were bastards out there. And people who might have the capability to ride dragons. I mean, it's I don't know. It's interesting. I do think the Harrenhal bit was one of the more interesting things because we have to talk about Daemon. Daemon is on maybe the largest side quest in Game of Thrones history.
Yeah.
Have we seen a side quest like this in the past? Daemon is just think about it. I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, I'm thinking like
Daemon is
Arya going to assassin school, but I mean like
that's
a huge side quest. You're right, huge side quest. Think of some other ones because I was thinking this is a side quest like a motherfucker.
Bran took a side quest so crazy he didn't show up for a season.
He's playing his own video game. He got people calling him king. Like he dreaming of having sex with his mom. They finally went too far.
You think that's too far?
That was too far.
Here's my question about that scene. Here's my question about that scene, real quick. No. You see that hallucination. Oh my God, it's my mom, and then it's that weird like dream coming out of a space thing where like you see our guy being like, "Is the duck not to your liking?" And then like he looks back, looks in front, and then it's not his mom, and he's in the bed. I'm like, what was he doing to the duck before? Was he eating the duck? Because it's confusing because it's like, okay, he sees himself in his bed, but then he's like coming out of a trance.
I mean,
and now he's at the dinner table.
His mom.
I know that.
He was eating his mom. That duck was supposed to represent his mother's vagina. Okay. And so
why do you have to say it like that?
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know why, but that was the limit.
To be fair, though, you didn't know that until
was the limit.
That was the limit. That's kind of crazy. We've seen a lot of that.
We did a lot of that. We can reverse or we can rewind, but it was only a couple weeks ago where you were just like, Jomi, you and my mom, you know, daily, like having nice dailians.
Do you see?
It's not his mom though. Okay,
so, I hate to say this, but Charles, are you able to see the difference between Jomi having sex with my mom and me having sex with her?
I'm just saying they're very closely related. They're cousins. They're cousins, and I'm just like,
are you fucking nuts? Are you fucking nuts?
Oh boy,
I can't. It's not even. It's not related in any way, shape, or
don't
form.
like it.
I really hate that I'm agreeing with Van right now.
You just
don't
pod
like
now.
it.
You just pod. There's no way that you could eat. They're not cousins at all. Like, look, here's the deal. There's a lot of family fucking that goes on.
Right.
But I'm watching this scene and I'm like, that's his mom. He's full on fucking.
You didn't know that until she said it, though.
Also,
telling him stories about from his youth. That was a lot, man. That was too much for me.
Also, shout out, Talk to Thrones. I didn't because like they were saying that Daemon was 3 years old when his mom passed away.
Yeah.
So it's also crazy that Daemon was like, I'm going to envision my mom as a bad bitch. Like he's you know what I'm saying?
He doesn't know
like that. Yeah, she doesn't look like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also another great detail, like from the books to this point. So it's not technically a spoiler if we're at this point in the books. It's told that Daemon was immune to Alice Rivers' influence as a witch. And I love that. And I think that's very funny because clearly Daemon would never tell a soul about the shit that he experienced in Harrenhal.
Would you tell somebody
No,
you had a dream
of
of
course
eating out
not.
your mother? No.
But it's just like to think that like if the Maesters ever asked him this or if anybody were telling him this, he'd just be like, how was your time at Harrenhal, Daemon? He's like, totally fine. Nothing happened. Didn't dream about having sex with my mom. Totally normal person. I don't know who Alice Rivers is.
And
like,
who's that? In that specific scene too, you mentioned like the duck and the goose or whatever. And like, it's like this weird wide shot. It almost resembles like a sitcom in which like he goes, actually, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat, actually.
Yeah. He puts the duck down.
I'm good.
Am I being a hater for feeling like sidelining Daemon on this side quest? I know maybe story-wise it makes sense, but it's kind of a bummer because I'm just like, we got Aemond like putting in work, being very charismatic on one side, and the Blacks for the longest time. If Jace didn't do shit this episode, it would be almost a wrap for them. Yeah. Like, do we need Daemon to start being a little bit more active this season?
Here's the thing. Daemon activity is different. Like, he killed a kid in the first one.
Right.
First episode,
You don't want him doing too much.
When he gets active, he gets...
I mean, he was killing. Right. It seemed like he was killing kids this episode.
Technically, yes.
Well, you gotta let him catch up. Is the thing.
Sure.
So you gotta let Aemond catch up. So remember the first season where Aemond looks like he's ready to pop shit, and Daemon steps up and he goes, "Oh, my boy, you ready for it?" And, and Aemond just looks past him like, "Nah, I'm not quite ready for this pop-up."
He's like,
"Wait a minute, not yet." So Daemon's side quest is about us learning a little bit more about, like, you know, a character that's been described about as the most dangerous man in Westeros, his motivations and all of that. And it's also about like minimizing him, bringing him back down to earth a little bit, because you see some of the mistakes that he's making and some of his weaknesses. Because eventually what you have to have is, in my opinion, a dynamic where those characters are seen as on equal footing of dangerousness and capability. So when they face off, you feel like it's a 50-50. Right now, you know that it's not. Yeah. You know that Aemond has been scared of Daemon in the past, and that Daemon is the big swinging dick of the entire deal. But as he becomes a little bit more unsure of himself, as he makes some mistakes, you start to see maybe a little impotence there. And then at the same time, Aemond is building his strength, consolidating the group around him and his power. And so when they face off, it'll be like one guy on the upswing, one guy maybe a little bit on the downswing, so maybe you won't know who's going to win. So I think that's probably why we're seeing a little bit of that.
Rhaenyra is sending one of the council members to Daemon.
Yes. My fucking asshole Alfred.
He's been the worst. I mean, they've all been dicks, but he's not been great. The worst. Yeah, Sir Alfred's not been great.
The fairer sex, that dude.
When he goes to Harrenhal and he sees Daemon calling himself king and order people
It's gonna be some funny shit.
Like when he can't call Rhaenyra, but he sends a Raven like, "Yo, Rhaenyra, you're not gonna believe this.
Yeah, you're not gonna believe this one.
You're not gonna believe this, bro." I can't imagine that's gonna go down well.
No, I mean, the funniest part of the entire, like, I was just like, "Oh, Daemon really is not great at this." Is when he's like, "Yo, call me king," and they're like, "King Regent," and he's like, "Nah, that's
no. Quick side. The actual funniest thing was when he's like, "Okay, bend the knee to me as king, or your house burns," and they're like, nah, we choose fire. And you have that amazing shot of that great shot of like that Caraxes lowering his head.
So funny.
And then it's an immediate cut to him just like sat on a stone and be like, man, I didn't think they had it in him. I didn't think they'd be willing to die. Which would have been the funniest thing ever if he actually killed them.
Can you imagine how much of a G you gotta be to choose getting burned by a dragon?
Turn your back on a dragon.
We've seen somebody choose getting burned by a dragon. In the moment, I'm not so sure there's many things, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, let the dragon burn me. Like, we seen people, we saw a dude get burned by a dragon with his son in the other show. Yep. Like, when that happened, I was like, man, these niggas really take these old seriously.
They got to.
Because in the moment, I'd have been like, you got it.
Well, that was the Brackens, right?
Yeah, the Brackens.
Here's the thing I loved about that scene, where it was just like, it was such a G move where you realize the Blackwoods and the Brackens are so fucking insane. Yeah. They're just like, I'd rather be burnt alive.
And Daemon was like, look,
I need y'all. I need some people with some heart like that.
They match my freak. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Come on. Need that in my army.
All right, so I will say this about the guy that's going, was it Sir Alfred?
Yes.
About Sir Alfred that's headed over to Daemon. He might
just side with Daemon.
He might see the vision with Daemon?
He might be all like whatever this guy's calling himself the king, or he might get there and Daemon has all of the things that Rhaenyra doesn't have in terms of the way he looks at the world. Daemon is a guy, he got the meats, right? He's battle tested, he's gotten his hands bloody as much as they could have been bloody in this peacetime, but we've seen Daemon fight in wars before. He might get to Harrenhal. Sending him to Harrenhal might have been precisely the wrong thing for her to do if she is either trying to sideline him or bring him back into the fold. He might get there and like what he sees.
Man, that's tough. I'm feeling for Rhaenyra right now, because imagine you send, her and Daemon obviously been beefing for a minute. But then you send your other somebody you've been beefing with too. Now they team up on you, and they like, hey, kind of.
And also, if she actually says that message, it's like, let's continue our last conversation. Oh, the one where like we screamed at each other, and you said you wouldn't actually address me as queen, and the fuck up. And like, oh, you're bringing this guy involved in now? I'm gonna stay in Harrenhal.
Is Daemon not long for this world? Because now, the more I think about it, you out here calling yourself king. You know what I'm saying?
You have an ayahuasca retreat for the witch.
There's a lot of dip on the chip.
The witch she said you dying here, so.
Well, that's true, right?
You didn't know your mom.
Like, there's no scenario where Rhaenyra finds out he's calling himself king and she's like, all right, cool. I'm going to let that slide, right? It's just not happening. I don't know if she kills him or if, like, something happens, we get another battle in episode 8 or whatever, but there's no scenario where Rhaenyra finds out he's been out there. It's not king consort. It's not king regent. I'm the king. You bend the knee to me. There's no way she finds out he's been out there doing that, and he like lives to tell the tale.
This is the Targaryen way. I feel like the Game of Thrones way of just like, he was out in Vegas, some shit happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was calling myself king. I was having dreams of sex with my mom, and she's just like, boy, get in the house. Like, I think there's a way back.
It's like a boys trip, boy, went to Miami, got a little too loose.
Yeah, like
you went on Do Not Disturb. You just
man, what kind of edibles?
Well, I mean,
was Daemon
it's the biggest thing about it is that she needs him. In situations like this, need trumps everything. You ever seen a college football team? One kid goes late to class, and the coach goes, "Hey, you're late to class. All right. We graduate champions here at this school. You're off the team. You're off the team." They don't tell you that guy's a walk-on. And then the coach gives a press conference. We don't put up with motherfuckers being late around here. Okay? That's not what we do. We graduate champions and everybody goes to class and we all got to go to class 3-piece suits and we study and we do great things. Then the star quarterback beats up 4 policemen, gets 5 DUIs, and the coach goes, "Kid just needs a chance. Kid needs a chance." They're like, if I turn my back on this kid, then what's gonna happen?
Who else gonna be there for him?
Yeah.
That's what you guys will want.
We're just gonna give up on
you
him.
guys. I'm just going to give up on the kid? If I turn my back on the kid right now, what happens? You think it's going to get better? You think it's going to get better? That's Daemon. Daemon is your star quarterback, right? Daemon is the one. Daemon could go off and do.
He can do his Rodman tryst from
like Daemon could go off. Daemon is like, yo, what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring this kid back into the program. Mm-hmm. We're gonna put our arms around him. Mm-hmm. We're gonna use our arms not to push him away, but to pull him closer.
Right.
That's what happens with him. They're gonna make sure Daemon got he gonna have to go and do some community service or something.
No, he's putting in hours for sure when he gets back.
Better than me.
Damon's gonna be all right. He number one in NIL earnings. He gonna be strong.
That's why I think she sent Sir Al, because Sir Al is like, have I done anything to dishonor you? Why are you making me go to jail? She's like, no. That's what you do, because she's trying to tell Sir Al's gonna go to Harrenhal. It's gonna be cold. He's gonna be eating nasty food. He's gonna get back. Right. And he's like, hey, yo, I'm real sorry for how I was acting.
Hey, to be fair, though, not to be fair, but like that dude did not apologize for talking crazy to her.
Again,
Rhaenyra's like, hey, listen, I might have been wrong. I needed to be a little bit about that action a bit more. The fact that you might have been right when it comes to responding after Rook's rest, I get it. Like that could have been like a squashing of the beef moment, but he's like, I'm not sorry for shit.
All right, here's the thing. I don't like Sir Al. Sir Al sucks. But at a certain point, Rhaenyra, like you gotta show me that you're a leader. You gotta start making decisions.
Oh, Charles.
Or you just gonna have motherfuckers popping off like that.
You're right. I don't disagree.
Charles is not about to beat the allegations.
No.
He looked at her and said the gentler sex.
Yeah. And you're just gonna let that slide.
You know what Rhaenyra should have done?
She looked back at him and been like, she looked back at him and been like, you ain't been in no battles either. Like what you ain't won nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't been in no battles either.
You can't snap back at that point. The minute he said that gentler sex shit, he should be like, hey, get him. Get him out here. Hey,
yo, Cyrex, man.
Bro, I don't understand why they don't just put people to death.
Yeah.
I would put him to death.
He said the gentler sex. Like, put him in the dragon pit for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Bro, I'm like, when I'm looking at that Aegon, we have to talk about Aegon. Damn, Aegon.
Man, that sucks.
It's tough.
That's not that bad.
We got to talk about Aegon.
Not that bad.
He be all right.
Aegon and Aemond, a couple of episodes ago, I'm like, yo, I know you're my little brother and stuff. I'll put you to the lash in front of the whole kingdom. I said it before. I will have you whipped. I have no. If I was the king, you come at me like that, you'll get whipped in front of the whole kingdom.
Van.
That's
an
interesting
narrative.
That's an interesting narrative.
Can we not say the words, I would have them whipped on this show?
That's crazy.
No.
That's nuts.
I will say it. It's look, we survived it.
No.
Hey, man, come on, man.
Umar's going to be dropping in like a SWAT team right now.
If I ever get power, there will definitely be whippings. All right, it's. I'm just being for real, because it's to me. Not in this world, not in the real world. I should say, I'm not for whipping anyone in the real
Westeros.
World.
In Westeros,
you
want to be a slave master whipping people in Westeros.
In Westeros, I would definitely have people whipped.
What?
For sure.
Wow.
Because I don't want to kill them. I just want to subjugate them.
Okay.
Think about the Westeros. If you get a whipping, you getting off easy.
They got antibiotics out there, so you might get an infection or something.
Speaking of antibiotics, I gotta be real. Aegon was like laying up in the bed, and they was putting the wet cabbage on him. I'm like, that cabbage ain't doing shit.
Is this the non-expired cabbage? By the way, what's the shelf life? The cabbage in Westeros.
They're peeling the metal off his skin, bruh.
That was that. I put my food down after that.
Is he alive? He's breathing for now. He's cooked. He's literally cooked. Don't do that. Don't give him hope.
So this is the thing that Allison. Don't try to be a mother now.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It was, man, when he was like, mommy, like that was really sad. That was sad. That really hurt.
That hurt, man.
It was sad. The whole thing was sad. It's sad because she looks, because no one on the show really refers to people by their kin name. Like, you can tell in the show when someone is looking at someone wants to show love to someone because they refer to them in the way that they're related.
Right.
Like when he goes, I love my grandsire.
Yeah.
Right? When the kid, I think he was the Tully kid, was saying, I love my grandsire. He looks at him as his grandfather. In this episode, when Corlys is talking to his granddaughter, they're talking as granddaughter and grandfather, right? He looks at her, he gives her the whole thing. She says, I don't want this dumbass kingdom. She's like, I'm not about to sit here. Like, you about to give me this kingdom. I don't want this dumbass kingdom.
Was that a little foul though? Because I was just like, damn, you choosing the white side of the family? That's crazy.
No, you don't give me the kingdom when it's at its lowest point.
Also, would you rather fly dragons or sail ships?
Here's the thing.
Honestly, I kind of dig the living life as a sailor and just like coming back to my
here's
house.
The thing, the Targaryens, after
it seems chill.
Them, I'm like, I might have to ride with the ship. The ship
seems chill,
shit,
man.
You know,
I dig it.
Give me Toothless. We ride at dawn.
No, man.
We ride at dawn.
Also, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if somebody try to give you Paramount. Now, I don't want it now. I wanted Paramount in 1997.
Actually, give me Paramount.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll take Paramount.
But
it's a distressed asset.
Renew Star Trek
Rhaenyra also been treating them, I'm like, she's like, yeah, I'm a Targaryen, bitch. I was just like, hey, yo, the way things are happening for the blacks right now,
the blacks or Team Black?
Both. I would have just said, I'd be like, hey, yo, grandfather, how about we'll put this conversation to the side. I'm not saying yes, but I'm not saying no.
Well, I mean, frankly, like we're joking right now, but she's like, I'm a fire and blood, not of salt and sea. Now he's got to go back to old Alan, be like, look, I ain't really got no other options, my boy. You got to
tell your bastard son, hey, you will reluctantly inherit this amazing kingdom.
Don't know what to tell you, buddy. I wasn't there for you. I did give you did save my life. No, it's just like he's got to go to Alan and be like, look, I know I wasn't there at all, and you did save my life, and I rewarded you by doing absolutely nothing about it. So, but I do need you to take up my name and my lineage and all of my resources going forward. You are the next person in line. So come on, let's go to.
That's a come up.
I mean,
that is a come up, but like you probably should like get to know your son a bit more.
Alan's like Jon Snow in season 8. I don't want it. Alan's entire thing is like he doesn't want to be involved. Like I think he's got an idea of like who his dad is, but he's just like, nah, I'm out of here. I don't want any of these problems. But Corlys at this point has nobody else, so he has to like figure out a way to make his bastard son come back into the fold with him. So it's gonna be interesting to see what that looks like.
Are we back in black? Because I was watching this episode and I got some inklings where I'm like, the black people on the show might start having some shit to do. Mm-hmm. Corlys, king of it, like he's about to be the hand of the king.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Alan is about to inherit, this kingdom. Bela getting her shit off. She's like, pop, 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 pop. I was like, the black characters are starting to cook a little bit.
Every time we come up though, something happens. So they're in the Eyrie and the Aaron, whichever Aaron, I can't remember what her name is at the moment. And she's like, yo, y'all gave me 2 small dragons. Rhaena's like, yo, we gave you 2 dragons. You didn't say the size, all that. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, sorry about your grandmother, by the way. Rhaena's like, this is how I find out. This how you gonna do me? I felt for Rhaena right there. I was like,
nah, Rhaena, they not giving Rhaena anything to succeed.
It's tough.
Rhaena has nothing to do. Like so a couple of things. Number one, I do wonder, can that black character, the bald-headed guy, can he ride the dragon?
Seemingly, yeah.
Well, I guess, he can. Maybe he's one of them.
Maybe.
Maybe doesn't have a rider.
Like,
what?
I'm telling you straight up, it's going to be a new era of Game of Thrones if you got a bald-headed black guy riding the dragon, man. That's a new era of the show.
How will you personally feel, man?
Samuel L. Jackson, be careful, Steve. Samuel L. Jackson, like a Samuel, how would he? Just don't ask no questions, all right? Be careful. A Samuel L. Jackson up there on top of the dragon would be crazy, especially if he grow his shit out just a little bit to like a mohawk.
Wait, what bald-headed black people would we want to ride dragons? I would want Charles Barkley to ride a dragon. Can you imagine?
Oh, wow.
Charles Barkley could ride a dragon.
Don't get him near San Antonio.
Samuel Jackson could ride a dragon. Yeah. That's a good one. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Nah, Michael Jordan can't ride no dragon.
Michael Jordan absolutely
He's going to burn too many people up. if you put Michael Jordan
That's
on the
Daemon
Dragon, he's
Targaryen
just
right
gonna
there.
go, and anybody that ever talk bad about him, he's just gonna burn up
That's
people.
true.
It's gonna be mad assistant coaches from college teams
Jesus
around him that he
Christ.
played
College
with, and he's
team.
getting burnt up. He's like, why did the assistant coach of Creighton get burnt up by a dragon? It was like,
Could-
he was at Team USA with Michael in
Shamar
1984. He said Michael
ride a
couldn't go
dragon?
left. Michael too vindictive. Who else? Al Roker.
Al Roker.
That's a wow.
Al Roker
love
can't
to
fucking
give a
ride a
dragon.
dragon.
Can
Al
Dwayne the Rock Johnson
Roker,
ride a
bro.
dragon?
Well,
No.
that's more in the sowing of the seeds
Who?
where it's like finding out.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. No.
No,
Are-
hell no.
Are we letting Shamar
Hell
Warner
no.
ride a dragon?
Who?
Shamar Moore.
No, well, it's interesting what you're doing now. We just talk about black guys riding dragons, and you going to a lot of the. I
Can
see you want to
Omar
give dragons
Epps
to the
ride a dragon?
biracials. Like I see,
Omar Epps could
I
definitely
see-
ride a dragon.
Omar Epps. I see who you want to have the dragons, Jomi.
I'm just naming-
You want Drake with a dragon. Like
Black bald
I can
actors.
see who
Wait,
you
why
want
did
to
we
have the
name
dragon.
any
We talking
bald-headed
about-
black women? Lupita?
Ooh,
Oh, Lupita's.
I
She
mean,
definitely ride a
Lupita.
dragon.
Definitely.
with a dragon.
Definitely.
Homegirl from 911. I love her. Y'all seen that show?
Okay.
She
No,
can have
I
a dragon.
haven't, but is that not? No.
Who else? What other balls?
Do they have to be bald,
Grace
though?
Jones.
Grace
They
Jones.
definitely
Oh my
have to be
God,
bald.
Grace Jones would for sure ride a dragon. She'd ride 3.
Or they have to have silver hair, and then we get into like Cisco riding a dragon. So it's like,
I mean,
You literally unleashed the
Cisco
dragon.
is
What are
the
you talking
dragon.
about?
that's true. That's true.
Oh
Cisco
my God,
getting on the-
bro, how come
Honestly,
Cisco-
I would
Unleash the dragon.
Wait.
Cynthia Erivo?
Bro, how come Cisco hasn't been on Game of Thrones yet? They put
That's
Ed
a
Sheeran on that bitch. Hold on. This season, Cisco should have been. This is House of the Dragon. Cisco already
Unleash
had
the
the dragon.
dragon.
Hair. Cisco was on this shit way before anybody, bro.
He was doing backflips
Cisco
in front of
is-
Godzilla.
Bruh,
No manches.
Bruh, I tell you, House of the Dragon, I'm telling you right now. Put Cisco on the show, man.
Yes.
Don't.
This-
Bro,
how do we
you
not talk
know
about
how
this?
hot it was in the streets when Ed Sheeran was on that thing, bro. That was like,
no,
If you-
All
all will be forgiven.
You got to do it better, but
No, if they put Cisco on a dragon, this will be better than Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Like legit.
All will be
Bruh.
forgiven for the final
It will
season
be,
of Game of
bruh.
Thrones.
Bruh, it's a scene where I'm gonna set the scene. Somebody is talking to Cisco, right? His name could actually be Cisco. That works. Somebody is talking to Cisco,
Sir Cisco.
and they
Cisco?
mad at him,
Sir
right?
Cisco of House Dawn.
They talking shit to him. And what does Cisco say? Y'all niggas gonna make me unleash the dragon. And then like he just comes down. Like, y'all niggas gonna make me unleash the dragon. I know you don't really want to unleash the dragon. And then he really says, hey.
Yeah.
And he comes down with the dragon as he's breathing fire on everyone. Unleash the dragon is playing. Cisco got to be on this. How have we not talked about this?
Honestly,
This is weird for us.
He's not even wearing armor. He's just wearing a Montclair.
I also want to see how he gets off the dragon because Rhaenyra wasn't getting off the dragon in any swaggy way. Cisco is about to do some backflips off the ship. He's burning people to a crisp.
He's just doing Jedi flips off and on the dragon.
He flip off that bitch. He might slide down that or like Usher slide down the side of that motherfucker. Do the moonwalk, bruh. Cisco. Seriously, I'm gonna be honest with you. They put Ed Sheeran on this bitch, bruh.
Yeah.
A life for, bruh. A son for a son. A son for a son, man. Like if we don't get Cisco on House of the Dragon at some point, I'm gonna wonder, like, really what's going on with the creatives of this show, man. They put Ed Sheeran on this bitch. We want Cisco. That's the trade-off.
That's the
They
trade.
had Ed Sheeran. We gotta have Cisco.
Let's start that change.org
And Cisco
right now.
makes sense in the world.
We can't get Cynthia Erivo in there.
Would you rather have Cynthia Erivo or Cisco?
Cisco.
I mean, Cisco's funnier, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Cynthia, and Cynthia got too much on her plate. Cisco needs this.
First of all, Cisco doesn't need it. He's chilling in Minnesota. He's doing his
You
thing.
need to check like crazy.
He's still where?
He's chilling in Minnesota. Minneapolis. He lives in Minneapolis.
Cisco lives in Minnesota?
Yeah, he lives in
Oh, does
Minneapolis.
I didn't realize that. Why does Cisco live in Minneapolis?
Why do you know so much about Cisco?
Do you know where Cisco lives in 2024?
Because I dated somebody who lived in Minneapolis, and they're like, we had Cisco there, and they had oh my god,
when were you? All right, Steve.
You know, I wouldn't have volunteered that information, but now you got to answer questions.
Was this like years ago?
Was this a black woman?
No.
Oh. All right.
That's all the question. It was the only question.
I'm looking this up. Like that's Steve. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's really weird
that I know that Cisco lives in Minneapolis.
Oh my god!
Hey, I'm gonna be real with you. Cisco in the suburbs. Singer now lives in Maple Grove. He moved there in 2015. I was about to call bullshit on you, but Cisco lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
That seems like a weird thing to make up, though.
I thought you was confusing him with Prince. I was about to get you the fuck out of here.
No. I know the difference between Cisco and Prince. Please.
Bro. Yeah. He said him and his girlfriend decided to move to Minnesota because it was an ideal spot to raise their children with his family close by.
Isn't that beautiful?
Cisco.
That's lovely.
That's dope. What I was saying about Alicent is that she calls Aegon her son.
Yeah.
I've seen her say Aegon. I've seen her say Daemon. I've seen her say Helena. She goes, my son. And you can tell, like, in the show, when they refer to somebody as, they don't talk about these people as their kin like their kin. They use the names. But you can tell in that situation that her feelings were, her maternal feelings, she was really shaken up by what happened to him because her son was in peril. Let me ask you guys this. If Aegon wakes up, which it seems like he's coming to, is he going to be like, my brother burned me with fire?
No.
If you're Aemond, is this a situation to where if he gets his faculties back, because Helena looks at Aegon at the end and she says, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Is this so it seems like she knows something, or maybe that question was maybe it was broader or more open-ended, who knows? But is Aemond in a bad situation if Aegon wakes up?
I think yes. I think what's interesting is that how many people in King's Landing, or at least on the council, either know or suspect what happened.
Yeah.
Where Sir Kristen Cole, we don't get a shot last episode of him looking up in the sky, but he knows, okay, something went wrong with this plan, and Aemond is at the center of this.
Yeah.
I think he burned his brother to a crisp. Like, Alicent is kind of like, he's a monster, he did this. And then old homegirl walks in with the visions being like, yo, was it worth it? So even everybody on the council, I was reading almost fear, where a lot of they were like backing up a lot of it with like, well, this is why you can't do it, Alicent, and this is why Aemond can. And I was just like, oh, a lot of them are just afraid of just like, Alicent, you don't have a dragon, he does, and he almost killed his brother for this shit. What do you want us to say?
Yeah.
So I'm like, if Aegon wakes up, if he doesn't have amnesia, I think it's going to get really awkward.
Yeah, there's no way that conversation, it doesn't happen, I don't think.
Right.
But to your point, everybody kind of is like, he has to do with Vhagar. We not finna mess with him. He want the throne, he can have the throne. It's not.
Yeah.
He's pocking juice. Like, he got the blicky.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared
like,
now.
That's what I'm saying.
What are we going to do?
It's like, dang, he sound like he in charge to me. Shoot.
Side question, is Juice just Akira?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Have you seen Akira?
You like Juice, Steve?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I've seen Akira, yeah. It's a good movie, right?
You like thematically, it's more or less just like
see, let me ask you a question. Steve, I don't know if I've ever asked you this before. What's your favorite movie with an all-black cast?
I think you have a
Steve, what is it?
Damn, all black cast. It was damn.
Don't say Johnson Family Vacation.
No, I like Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's too easy, though. I need your
How's that too easy?
Yeah,
it's a little cliche. I wish you would have dipped into the bag a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? That's a layup.
Okay, well, if you don't like the answer, I'm sorry.
not saying we don't like the
Friday,
answer,
really?
but like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what the fuck, hold on. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, Steve. Drop your nuts.
Yeah.
Steve said, "Fuck it, I'm fucking with Friday." If you guys
Friday,
Friday's.
I mean,
like,
I don't know who done love Friday. If you would have said like, don't be a menace in South Central while drinking juice in the hood, I'd be like, oh, Steve.
What would you have wanted me to say?
I'm just saying, like,
could have said like Crooklyn, like
sure,
just Crooklyn. Some little more substance.
Okay. Belly,
Belly's good, but
Belly sucks.
I mean, I don't.
What if I like Friday and genuinely think that I like it?
Here's the thing, though. First of all, Friday has a ton of substance, but like it's comedy. Belly, actually, you have to be there for Belly. I can understand to where, so Belly dropped, I was like 17, 18. That was for us. If you watch Belly, it was, man. It was. If you watch Belly for the first time and it's like 2024 and you going back, it's like, I want to watch Belly, you're not going to like Belly. Belly,
that was just more of a vibes for the time.
I'm not gonna argue with Belly over Charles. Belly was, if you were born between, I'd say 1975 and 1982, then you think Belly is pretty dope. If you was born in 83, 73, 74, whatever, you probably anytime before or after, you probably looking at Belly like, what the fuck is this shit? But for the time that Belly came out, Belly was that motherfucking shit, bro. We was going crazy over Belly, bro.
Like, what about Belly, Set It Off? Were you guys going crazy for Set It Off?
Yeah, Set It Off is a classic.
Yeah.
See that question made me uncomfortable.
Why?
It was like what about Set It Off? Was that well received back in the day? Did you niggas like Set It Off?
Steve, like, you just gotta be like, what's your favorite movie with an all-white cast?
Yeah. Cheaper by the dozen.
Okay.
Yes.
But this is a good question. Though. What is because I could easily say, and I don't want to, because I can easily say like A New Hope, right? Because these movies are white.
Yeah, but it's but like the mind reels.
Yeah, what's the whitest movie
with an
that you guys love? Like the movie that's like less, is like not even halfway even in the culture at all.
It's like this is white culture.
The whitest movie.
Flubber.
With Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love that little green dancing motherfucker. Like, yeah,
wow. Flubber, that's a pull. No, I remember Flubber.
Laughing, bro.
Flubber's great.
Flubber's great.
The only reason why I say, but let me tell you something. The only reason why I say Flubber maybe doesn't count is because it's for kids.
Okay.
So it has to be an adult movie.
Adult movie.
Like an adult movie, but like it's just straight. It's white.
Oh,
Top Gun.
No.
So they got Sundown in Top Gun, which is crazy.
What it is, actually? It has not aged well, but when it came out, I was loving this shit. 500 Days of Summer is the whitest movie of all time.
That's in the top 5 for me. I was gonna say that, but I was like, I gotta go deeper. That's a good answer.
Any Joseph Gordon-Levitt joint.
Any Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie is like when he was popping.
Oh man, he was.
That's the whitest movie of all time.
That was my king for a minute. He was great.
Oh my god.
Can we get back to
Jomi,
I have a question, guys.
No, hold on, real quick. We gotta finish this. Jomi, what's the whitest movie?
The whitest movie? Man, I mean, I said it is probably Cheaper by the Dozen, right?
Parent Trap.
Oh, actually,
the Lohan Parent
pretty
Trap.
much anything from Lindsay Lohan from like.
Oh my God, Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a strong Mean Girls.
Yeah. Mean Girls.
I love me some Mean Girls. Yeah.
Pretty white. The thing is, it's so many for me. I'm trying to think, but
wait,
when I say white?
What's the one with the blue motherfucker and Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes?
Big Fat Liar.
Big Fat Liar is a great.
That's a great.
But see, I want to let you guys know something. I kind of feel like kids' movies have to kind of be for everyone. That's the only reason why I say a kids' movie. Like I kind of feel like a kids' movie, it has to kind of be, because it's got to appeal to kids from everywhere. Maybe they said fuck the black kids. I don't know. But I feel like the kids' movie has to appeal to everyone. I like Swingers, super white. Don't even care about niggas in that world. Is there any black people in Swingers? Maybe there is. Maybe there is one in black people. Swingers is one. I don't know. There's some.
Would Reservoir Dogs count?
Are there any black people?
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
There's no white people. There's no black people in Reservoir Dogs.
Bro.
That's a white. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Boondock
white. 'Cause then
Saints.
there's a lot of it gets whiter because there's the N-word in that bitch too.
Yeah.
So it just makes
yeah.
it whiter. Those are
Damn,
really
I love
white
some
problems
Reservoir
that they
Dogs.
have.
I mean,
in
me
that
too,
movie.
but there's no black people in there.
There is no black people in Reservoir Dogs.
Hey, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I'm proposing a Midnight Boys draft of the whitest movies in the world.
Best
it.
whitest movies?
Oh man, it's happening.
Is it best whitest or
I'm
just
a
like
re-
white? It doesn't matter of quality.
It's
Culturally white, not quality.
they're culturally white.
Okay.
I'm talking about movies. I'm talking about movies that like, because look, this is what people, I love diversity, but not all the time. Sometimes I want to know.
That's a crazy quote.
I'm going to be honest with
insane
Not all the
quote.
time.
It's crazy. I love
Sometimes
diversity.
you just want
Not all
culture.
the
You know what? This is a good all-white movie, because we should have a rom-com section like Sleepless in Seattle. Very
Oh,
white
man.
movie.
Yeah.
White.
Super white.
White.
Super
So
Love
white.
Sleepless in Seattle.
I like diversity, but sometimes I just want to know like what the white people are doing. Now it's different with Friends, 7, 8 years in the middle of New York, no niggas whatsoever.
Whoa,
That's
there were
offensive.
some niggas in
But
Friends, just not a lot.
Shout out Aisha Tyler.
After we made a big deal, you weren't around.
Petitions were signed.
After we made a
Charles.
big deal about it.
Signs outside of NBC.
After we
go
made a
crazy.
big deal about it, they was
Ross
like,
had a
all
black
right,
girlfriend.
here you go. We'll put a
Aisha
nigga
Tyler.
on that bitch. But after we made a big deal. But sometimes you just want to watch a movie from a different culture and see what they up to. What's going on with them? It don't have to be every time, oh my God, like Sleepless in Seattle would not have been made better if there was a nigga named Malik in that bitch. It doesn't enhance the movie.
You don't know that.
Like,
you don't know that.
Hey, it could have been, man. It could have been special.
It doesn't change the movie. This is a story about that could only happen to white people.
Here's the thing:
Right.
a
You
black
watch
kid
it.
is not picking up the phone, just letting all the business out for the entire nation. Like a black
No,
dad's
and
like,
if he does, you about to catch a whooping.
Home
Yo,
Alone-
what
Home
you
Alone
on the
is different
goddamn
if Kevin
radio
is
telling
black.
all my motherfucking business for?
They
what did Steve just say?
It's like Home Alone's a little different. If Kevin is black, if Steve was like, would they be in that house?
Oh, all right, bro.
Damn, Steve. Okay, we got to get back to that's post credits. We got to get back. See, Steve? Steve, talk your shit. I love it.
I have a question. I have a Game of Thrones question or a House of Dragon question. And we're getting back to what we talked about in episode 2 with Kristen and Allison, where I didn't understand what was going on. And I still don't at this point.
Right.
Because they have a conversation after the council meeting. And Allison is like, yo, you only good with me from night till morning? And then Homeboy is like, yo, I'm trying to protect you. That's a weird conversation for people who don't like each other at all.
Yeah,
either they're the dumbest people alive or the evilest people.
This is a very interesting turn for me because as much as Kristen Cole sucks, they're giving him like some dimensionality here because he's clearly shook from everything that happened at Rook's Rest. Mm-hmm. And I was actually compelled by the line. It was like, have I not spared you of this? We've given the War to the Dragons. A Dragon Rider should be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And he's clearly shook enough to be like, listen, you actually don't want any part of this.
Yeah.
If you've seen what I've seen. And I kind of don't even know if I want to be involved with this myself. That's how I read that.
And that's why, and I don't disagree with you, but that's why I was like, this is like one of the worst Allison episodes we've ever seen. Like, it's a terrible crash out.
It speaks to her slight naivete when it comes to war.
Yeah.
But also she's reckoning with the gravity of, again, fucking up this prophecy and putting Aegon here in the first place.
Yeah.
And she can't wiggle her way around a better outcome.
So she's grasping at straws?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
It's tough.
If this show teaches us anything, medieval situationships and modern situationships are the same exact thing.
That's right.
Because Allison, when my boy was riding out, she was basically like, all right, bye.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts going through it. She gets pregnant. She has the abortion. She realized she fucked up with the prophecy. Homie comes back. He's coming back for war, PTSD. He's just like, dog, I just can't even right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, Dad, this is what happened. And also, if I'm being real, Sir Kristen Cole is like, I don't want to fucking marry into this family. Like, your kid's crazy. One got burnt to a crisp and the other one's a mass murderer. Like, so I do think this is what happens when situationships go wrong. And I feel for both of them.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
Allison is so green. Allison, you can tell she hasn't had that many, she hasn't had that many different relationships with a low down ass motherfucker. Mm. You think I know dudes that have had sex with a girl on Wednesday and not let her into the club on Friday. It means nothing. Like,
oh my God.
Wow. I'm serious. Like it means absolutely nothing. I literally know dudes that like promoters in LA. And I'm like, hey, man, didn't I just see you with her? And he's like, yeah, but look who she brought with her. Look at her friends. I'm like, bro, you need to let her in this bitch. He's like, nah, man, I got business to think of. I'm like, oh, my God.
Jesus.
So there's nothing. And she thought, she looking at him like they kind of had something.
Yeah.
You ain't been on these streets enough, man.
I don't know if it's more of a speaking to like any sort of actual affection, but even it's more of like political capital where you're like, hey, we've been having sex on the low for a minute, and you're not even going to stand up for me in a council for people like that. Like,
yeah, but again, why would you bring the light? Would you be keeping it private? It's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's kind of crazy for him to go stand up for Alicent out of nowhere.
No, absolutely, and it speaks to like how kind of out of place she is.
Yeah,
in this,
and she had that Homelander moment where everything's like getting warm.
I love that moment. Like that was a great shot because it doesn't matter what anybody's saying. It's just like it's all just sinking in that nothing is working.
Yeah,
I mean, also if I'm gonna be real, just if I'm Sir Kristen Cole, I'm like, your maniac son is now the Prince Regent, and he got his own mommy fetish.
Yeah.
So the first sign he hears, he's like, get this motherfucker out of here.
Yeah.
So if I'm Sir Kristen Cole, I'm sitting down, I'm shutting the fuck up. Like, dog, like what does she expect?
Hey, don't call me. I'm gonna call you. Just like
she making the block hot. Like that's her. She making the block hot.
Yeah, no, can't get caught up. You're gonna get burned. You find out that
so look,
you've been messing with the Queen Regent, and you got Vhagar out there. It's over. It's cooked.
So, in a content season that has been pretty up and down, if we're being honest, I think we're all in agreement that Hot D is cooking, continues to cook. This episode didn't have any midair dragon battles. It didn't show anyone getting burned by any fire, but it was incredibly good and carried the momentum on of the season. Mm. And look, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where things are going. We don't know who's going to emerge. We don't know who is going to be supplanted. But we are on the precipice of a lot of things. I think Corlys I think we're going to see him become more important as the season continues. I know there are not too many episodes left, but there's some things to look forward to and some stuff to look back in the past and be like, how did this go and what's happening and what does this mean? So that's when the show is really, 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 really cooking.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. That's it. That's a wrap. Nerd news, let's do it.
All right. Nerd news time. We got a new teaser trailer for one of the next Marvel outings after Deadpool and Wolverine. That's right. We got our first peek at Captain America Brave New World. Van, you've seen the trailer over the weekend. Initial thoughts.
It was as good as it could have possibly been.
Tough.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, tough.
Ouch.
Tough.
Yikes.
Can I say this? I don't know.
You think
it wasn't the reaction you want to see where I was just like, they put Red Hulk at the end of that trailer like they was doing something, and I was like, I don't really know if
you're one of the.
Wait, hold on for a second. Well, I want to make no bones about this. My reaction to the trailer is overwhelmingly positive.
Okay,
it's resoundingly positive.
Okay,
when I say
that's a different message.
Been, like it, I'm not meaning to diminish the movie when I say that. What I'm saying is that this trailer, to me, looks like a movie that's striking all the right. I don't want to step on anybody else. A movie that's striking all the right chords and hitting this story where I think it should be being hit right now. I'm not in any way saying I didn't enjoy this trailer. I thought it was a great trailer. I thought it was as good of a first look as it could have possibly been. I mean that sincerely.
Yeah, no, I watched the trailer 6 a.m. I was tired and it perked me up. I was like, oh, okay. It kind of like had like, you know, I don't want to. They're not cosplaying Winter Soldier. That's crazy, but it had a little bit of that like kinetic energy in the trailer.
For sure.
And so like, you know, that's always gonna be interesting. And seeing like there's a little like like a bit where they go to Sam like 3 times as he's walking in.
Yeah,
There's a
click.
cut. I was like, okay, man, you know, we have some of this energy in the movie. I'll be there.
The suit looks better. I'll give it.
The suit looks
better.
way
The suit had to
better.
look better.
You know
The suit
I mean?
needed to look better.
Way better. I'm excited for this film.
Me too. I think that there's going to be. It's interesting to have a level of excitement for a slower feed of Marvel content that comes out. Like, it's been a minute since we have something to look forward to. It's like it has been a while. Like, the Marvels was our last big thing, and that feels like an age ago now. And now the next big thing
coming out in like 2 weeks.
I know, but like that's imminent. But like things to look forward to, it's not that much.
Okay.
And I think this is really hitting a good stride. I think that Mackey's going to be finding his own. I'm really interested to see how many angles we have. We have Leader, we have Ross, we have
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah. Whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I have a question for you, Charles. Do you believe in Anthony Mackie?
I mean, I actually think, to his credit, it took all of Winter and Winter Soldier, Falcon, whatever it's called. He was looking like Captain America. Movie-wise, I was just like, they kind of got the look down a little bit more. I'm just going to be honest. We got to be real. Like, we got to keep it above. It's nothing about the teaser trailer, but this ain't the type of reaction you want. In terms of just, like, the next Marvel movie out.
Oh, who gives a shit? By the way, it is like the reaction is one thing. Charles, don't fucking back down now, nigga. Don't, like, we asked you about Anthony Mackie just to let everybody know. Everybody know what the real is now. Everybody know what happened, Charles. The most important thing in this entire deal is who cares about how people are reacting to the trailer? I'm asking you right now. Jomi asked a question. You sidestepped it. Do you believe in Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Chuck?
If we just going off the teaser trailer, it's gonna be enough. If it's just on the teaser trailer, it might have been a bad day. It might have been a bad day. I don't know. It's just like it was.
I mean, them giving us the Red Hulk this early, you know, shout out. There's no theorizing. Look, listen.
No, but here's my issue. What this teaser trailer needed to do for me, right, is if Anthony Mackie is going to be Captain America, if he's going to be shouldering this entire movie, we already know that it's just like, this is even part of the movie where they even bring it, Harrison Ford is bringing up, like, you ain't Steve Rogers.
Yes.
I'm like, it sends, I think, the wrong message that we can't even get a teaser trailer.
Without getting compared to Steve Rogers here.
Not just that, ending with the Red Hulk. Because I'm just like, is this a Captain America movie or is this a Hulk movie? Because it's a Hulk villain. You got the fucking Red Hulk.
That's the sad thing about the marketing of all of this, where you're like, okay, we need every possible thing that could interest you, because Marvel's like, they're slowing the tap down a bit. So we got to make sure that we can get any possible way to get you in this theater or get you excited for this. We're going to make sure that we do it. And it's going to be in the first trailer, not even the last one, not even in the lead up, not even any of this. It's going to be right now. Like, Red Hulk is in this movie.
This felt like Red Hulk and Captain America, not Captain America, in the same way that it's like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Sure.
Where I'm just like, I get that's where we're at with the MCU, but I do think because Captain America is such a fraught character, I think because Falcon and the Winter Soldier was uneven, I do think that I need the next trailer out. You gotta sell people on Anthony Mackie as Captain America. You can't just be like, we got the Red Hulk, and we got some shit from the Eternals, and we got the Leader, and we got Giancarlo Esposito. Like, focus.
Dude, I mean, shout out, they finally got Tiamat back. It's been 11 years.
Yeah.
But we get to finally understand what's going on in the middle of the ocean. I think they've been chilling there. I think the closest thing we ever got, or the only thing we ever got, was in She-Hulk, where they're like, that hand in the ocean, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
It's finally like we're coming back to some of the stuff that we love about the MCU, which is the interconnectedness of it all, right? Like stuff we saw in other movies are finally coming home to roost. And
but
I'm
also
excited.
we got to remember that that's been a little bit of the downfall, where if we get too much into that if we get too much into the feeling of the prerequisite knowledge that somebody needs to do to watch these movies, that's kind of been the thing that's been deterring people. And it's kind of why we've been slowing the taps a bit.
I mean, the quality is really...
It wasn't... Here's the thing.
And the
trailer wasn't a disaster. It was not a disaster. It's just like... It does give me a little bit of pause of... Is this just going to be more MCU bullshit? Or did they actually really have a Captain America story to tell? I just don't know.
I think that it's possible. I'm really interested.
I think the fact... So I thought the trailer was really good. And I don't have a problem with them showing Red Hulk just because Thunderbolt Ross is Red Hulk. I mean, the image is Red Hulk squeezing the shield. So, I mean, I don't think I have a big problem with it. I can think of other trailers that have kind of done the same thing, especially if he's going to be the main villain, or maybe he won't be the main villain, but whatever. I do think, though, that the response to the trailer is more... It's not even about the trailer as much as it is about... It's not the best... The trailer's not the best thing in the world. But when I say as good as it could have possibly been, for a Captain America movie, the reason why I felt like that personally was I want to be like, does he look in command of Captain America? Does he look like this is a world that can revolve around him and not him being in Steve Rogers' world? Which I thought the trailer did a good job of kind of showing that, right? It's a new Captain America. It's a different take on it. And that's what it has to be, to Charles's point, what Charles is right. It has to be a different take on Captain America. In order for the movie to work, the story has to show that this is not the same thing that we've seen from the character in the past, and that's okay. If you're in the movie and you're thinking, damn, I miss Chris Evans, the movie's a failure. Right? And when you look at this, it kind of feels like a world. It feels a little smaller. They didn't go with a big spectacle for the trailer. There's a couple of shots that you're like, oh my God, you can see him and the way he's flying. But for the most part, things are a little close up. You see Isaiah Bradley in some way, like lose it and try to kill the president or do something. And you're starting thinking, oh, these are all things that are kind of close to him and situations that have existed for a while. And there's some newness here. There's some things we haven't seen. There's some at least belief that they might not be playing the hits. And I think that's why I said it was as good as could have possibly been. Because it wasn't going to be a sit where everybody was going to be excited like Endgame to see that bitch.
Sure.
But if you're like, oh, okay, this is a world I can believe in, then it worked. But we're not gonna be good on the trailer all the way because we've been burned too many times, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah,
we've been burned too many times, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I need that Isaiah Bradley Bucky flashback though. I need that.
We ain't getting that.
I mean,
I want it so bad.
We ain't getting that, bro.
I mean, the Red Hulk thing, and this is something I've been thinking about for a minute, is like, of course we get the Red Hulk stuff is because Thunderbolt Ross is in the movie, but we speculate so much, like just as a movie-going, comic book movie-going audience, that like every time like somebody's on set, we get like a leaked shot, and it's like, so-and-so's there, this and this and which. At this point, does it behoove the studios to like hide like stuff like this when we've already done the math?
I mean, I feel like studios like that kind of look at that as low-key marketing opportunities. Even if it's not official, even if it's not something that they can fully announce yet. Like they have precautions and ways of just like, all right, we put so-and-so over like a hood and then they're just ushered into a soundstage in Atlanta or whatever. Like anything that they shoot out in broad day that they know that is going to be like possibly exposed to like set photos or whatever, like they know what they're going to be putting out there.
I mean, Marvel's better. I mean, the DC thing is kind of crazy because like Superman, they just been like going crazy.
Everything fly.
That might honestly,
is that whole movie shot outdoors?
Yeah, I've seen half the movie.
They're shooting on practical sets, guys.
Hey, I like it.
But this is my last like hot take for the day. Also, the Red Hulk just sucks. So that's what worries me a little bit.
Could you imagine a world where the Red Hulk doesn't suck, though?
It's just like, if you propping up your movie being like, hey guys, guess what? We got the Red Hulk.
Man, is Leader that cool?
No,
who cares?
I'm just
They can make Leader cool. They made Zemo cool.
If that's no, but here's the thing: like, I could take Zemo seriously. Even in the comic books, when I was reading, I was there when the Red Hulk was created. I was like, this is dumb as shit. Like, it's like, so there is a part of me where it's like, you got to convince me that the Red Hulk is worthy of me giving a fuck about a fourth Captain America movie.
Sure.
Then you're not gonna like it. Then you're not gonna like it.
I don't. If Harrison Ford being a big red monster,
like if you go, if that's so like, I mean, whether or not you like the Red Hulk or not, like you don't like the Red Hulk. I mean, I don't think the Red Hulk is, to me, it's like kind of just like another thing.
Yeah,
you know how they do stuff, and it's like, oh, it's cool. You know, it's like people want to see. There are a lot of people who want to see the Red Hulk. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily one of them, but I don't not like the Red Hulk. You know what I mean? It's like Thunderbolt Ross turned into the Hulk. I was like, oh, the writers was getting high one day.
Yeah,
it was like the writers was getting high. It was like, well,
but you think a regular audience is like, the Hulk's right now? Yeah, let's go. They like, come on, bro.
I mean, the Hulk has been different colors though, gray, green, red, whatever. But what I'm saying is, if you don't like the Red Hulk, if the movie has to make you believe that the Red Hulk is cool, then you're probably not gonna like it. Because what they do in the movie that makes you think the Red Hulk was cool because I
didn't give a fuck about Black Panther. I didn't give a fuck about Iron Man, and those movies did a very, very good job of being like, hey, these characters are actually cool. So if you,
they're not the main characters.
Those are the leads. You're right about that, but those are the leads.
Yeah.
Of the. But that's actually a fair. Point. That's actually a fair point.
Thanos. I'll be honest. Thanos sucked in the Thanos didn't have the swag in the comic books that he did in the movies.
That was his movie.
Yeah,
that was his movie.
That's correct. I mean, look, your opinion and whatever, but if you watch the Avengers, the original Avengers, and you didn't get fucking hype when you saw Thanos at the end of the movie, bro, like that, come on, man. Thanos is like, there's the whole Infinity Saga and the whole nine. You know?
All right, here's the thing. Thanos is in a lot of iconic comic books. The Thanos that we got in the movies just got so much more swag, so much cooler. When Thanos would pop up in the comic books, I'm like, all right, cool. He got some gemstones on his fucking wrist. I don't know. Cool.
He's horny for death.
He got that rolling on.
Right.
He got that thing.
Hey, I feel it, though. I feel it.
My favorite part of the trailer is when it opens.
That's wrap. Every Tuesday and Thursday, the House of R will deep dive into House of the Dragon and Acolyte. This Tuesday, we'll be live at 7 p.m. on YouTube. Reacting, I didn't hear what was said.
I was about to say my favorite part of the trailer. You just
every Monday and Thursday, the Midnight Boys will be giving you their reactions to Hot D. Thursday for the boys and the Acolyte. Every Sunday, Talk to Thrones will be up right after the latest episode of Hot D ends. Our producer is Steve, the Architect Ahlman. Jonathan, Mr. Midnight Chocolate Man, Kermah, and what?
It's great.
What did I say Cory's name was?
I don't know.
I'm not going to do that.
The Music Man?
Yeah, the Music Man.
Now I remember.
Cory the Music Man McConnell. Cory the Music Man McConnell. Jomi. Explainer Adeniran on social media. # Salt and Sea Jomi.
Ooh.
Okay. Fire and blood.
That was racial.
Well, how was that?
Additional production from Arjuna the Watcher. Ramgopal. Charles, take us out.
The Red Hulk sucks. Aemond is bragging. And for the House of the Dragon to get to the next level... Oh, I fucked that one up.
Wait, no. I thought you were going to quad rhyme it.
Aemond is bragging. Shout out to Cisco, because we about to unleash the dragon.
Yeah! First of all, can we address what you're wearing right now?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Crazy fit. This is a crazy fit.
Ridiculous fit.
You on vacation right now?
Well, okay, first of all, why is it... All right, a couple of things. Number one, I don't think that for the three woketeers right here, that I think that we can all agree that the times of being able to comment on the wardrobe of a coworker are over We've turned over a new leaf in society. So you commenting on how I look and how I'm dressed.
A coworker
goes
who
against Jomi's
arrived in a bathrobe.
Yeah.
To a work of
I think that what you could say is you're wearing some statement pieces right now.
See, this is my problem with y'all. Either you can't be all the way or skip it. Okay? So you can't comment on what I'm wearing.
You can't be half woke.
Not the way things go.
Right.
Well, okay, but I'll answer this question. This is the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is how I wake up. You know, I got my sleep mask up here.
Sure.
I got my hat. You know, I sleep in the hat.
I was gonna say, do you sleep? Clearly, you sleep in the hat because you got the sleep mask on the hat.
I put the sleep mask on the hat. I sleep in the hat. I got, I wear my chains. You know what I'm saying? Wear all my chains in the house. I got this little tab. I got it checked out, non-cancerous. And then I wake up and I got this. I'm here at the NAACP convention in Vegas. And I came back to my room and there was a box of Black-owned goodies that was sitting in my room.
Wow.
What's in the box?
Like, hey, this is from Black-owned people. And I didn't know there was a Black-owned robe company.
Oh, so they gave you that robe.
Oh, this is a Black-owned robe.
Shout out to my Black robes, man. Yeah. Shout out, man. Come on.
All right, can we get to the show?
Yeah.